Hey, y'all, I'm reading a fantastic book right now. This one here, A Dying of Whiteness. It's all about how the politics of racial resentment is killing America's heartland, and it's by Jonathan Metzl. Metzl rhymes with pretzel. I want to give you a brief summary. I know I can never be brief because I always have to interject my political views, but here I go anyway. This book is about how people's way that they vote, that might be race-oriented, are actually voting against their own health. Let me give an example. Let's just say you voted for a president who promised to do mass deportations, to get rid of all the brown people who are taking away your jobs. You voted for that, not hearing that he said he was going to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. Or maybe you did hear. Maybe you heard him say, I'm going to get rid of Obamacare. And you went, yeah, that's bad, because that was that black president who came up with that. So you vote for the guy who's going to deport the brown people. And then he gets rid of the Affordable Care Act. That was the thing that enabled you to afford health insurance coverage, where you couldn't get denied because of a pre-existing condition like diabetes. But maybe now you can't afford health care, or you're getting denied, or maybe you just can't afford your insulin drugs that the former president helped bring down in price. All because you voted to deport the brown people. Maybe you weren't paying attention when he said he was going to appoint someone to head up Health and Human Services who once had a worm eating his brain, who was a former heroin addict, who believes all vaccines are bad, despite medical and scientific evidence that says vaccines have cured disease for decades and decades. But this guy's come out telling people don't get a measles vaccine, it causes autism. So now you send your little kiddo to school, they come home with measles. Maybe they become unalive, and, all because you voted to deport the brown people, or whatever else you voted for. Finally, last of all, here's a really big deal. Medicaid. I don't know if you're aware, but Medicaid, it's a program that helps give health care coverage to people who would otherwise not be able to afford it. But understand, those people, they're not getting cash in their pocket. That money is reimbursing the hospitals that treat them. So data shows that rural hospitals, in other words, right there in America's heartland, a lot of rural hospitals in a lot of red states, they voted against Medicaid expansion in prior years. So not getting Medicaid coverage, these hospitals in America's heartland, rural hospitals, have had to shut their doors. So hospitals shutting down because people voted to deport the brown people, or whatever else you voted for. Anyway, it's a really good book. It's much more interesting than I am, or maybe not. Depends on your perspective. Anyway, you can get this from my showcase right over here, or maybe you just want to go check it out at the library or listen on one of your apps. But it is really, really fascinating.